Guess who's back, back again. Confess It Baby is back.
It is us, and we were
And
never
it
on a
is
break.
April, baby.
It's
first
officially
week.
April. You know what that means?
What does that mean?
It's going to start raining soon.
Oh, no.
April showers.
April showers. Yeah, April's such, like, I want to say a boring month.
Do you really think so?
I really think so.
I think it kicks off kind of fun. It's April Fools.
But
People
still.
have, jokes up their sleeve.
But May, I feel like May is, like, when you feel like summer is coming. But April
Jen,
is
we live in
like,
Miami, girl.
I know, but it's more like the boat, like the water becomes
Oh,
better.
the
like
boat days.
Yeah, exactly.
Sunday fun days.
Exactly. I feel like that starts rolling up.
La putería se sale.
La botería se sale. And that starts like in May. April is just like, it's just there.
I'm learning so much from you.
I know, you really are. But April's just in the middle of everything. It's just there. So
Halfway through the year?
halfway through. No, not yet. What do you mean halfway through
Almost.
the year?
The last 2 months of the
You're
year doesn't
speeding
count.
that up too much. Slow down, sis. We're still in the beginning. It's month 3.
Listen.
So let's jump into it.
Let's do
we
it.
wanted to hear more from you guys and see what you guys are all about.
Yeah, it's time to slow things down and get to talk about you guys. Enough about us and all these promoters and comedians.
We want to
Now
know
it's
about
time.
you
Yeah.
to start this month. Okay, so Ili so gracefully did some graphics for you guys on Instagram a few weeks ago. Okay, so today we're gonna get those results.
So we're gonna start doing this thing called Questions of the Week. And we're not necessarily going to go over all the questions every single episode, but we're going to gather them and hear you guys out. We want to hear the raw honesty. Mm-hmm. We know a lot of you, and we know you guys have some confessions to make.
Oh, yeah. And this is your time to give those confessions, and nobody's going to know that it's
anonymous.
You. It's anonymous, so it's
What was
great.
that thing called back in the day, like when we were in FIU, that it was anonymous questions?
Ask or Yik Yak. No, Yik Yak was talking crap about people on campus. You don't remember Yik Yak?
No, I don't think I was around.
You had to be around because I was around.
Really?
Yik Yak, my freshman year in college.
I mean, I remember the one where you would... Oh, is that the one with the little Viking logo?
Yes.
Oh, I was definitely around.
Everybody
I remember.
knew about Yik Yak.
And then it detected, like, the things going on around your area, and you would see... It was kind of like Twitter, but anonymous.
Yeah, and I used to, like, move the pinpoints and, like, check around the FIU area, check around my area. People would talk smack about, like, people I went to high school with in my area. Like, it was so funny.
Okay, well, it's not like Yik Yak.
It's not Yik Yak, guys. It's not Yik Yak.
We're going to keep it somewhat PG. My microphone is shitty right now.
All right, so the first one on our
First question
is how to get over someone. What have you done to get over someone you dated? So, are you ready for their confessions?
So it's not ours, right?
It's not ours.
Sucks for you guys.
This time we did want to hear from them, so we're gonna partake.
I guess we're gonna have to.
But
keep quiet.
maybe we'll we're gonna pitch in some. Okay, so
hit me with it.
We're going. So first person. Oh my god, I was about to say the name.
The name. Say it. No, we don't say names here.
We don't say names here.
We don't say names.
It says, cut out all communication and delete them from social media. Pretend they don't exist.
You see, I can't do that. I cannot
Me neither, because I'm
delete them
so
from social
nosy.
media. Exactly.
And I want them to see that I'm having the best time of my life. So I wouldn't want to block them or delete them.
At least for me, I don't like ending relationships with bad blood.
Me neither.
Even though sometimes it's inevitable, you end up...
It's a Scorpio in us. We want a peace.
I just want peace with everyone. I want to get along with everyone. I enjoy being friends with my exes. Not like best friends, but just, getting along, being civil with them, not having to act like we're in high school or middle school. Or like, don't look at me.
And avoid them or like not make eye contact. You see them out and about. Yeah,
exactly.
I don't like that vibe either.
I just want chill vibes.
Yeah, and I wish them well, and like that's it, right?
But I will say that I do have a lot of friends that have to do that. They have to cut them off. They cannot see their face. They cannot see their friends' Instagram profiles.
Especially if the person really hurt them. I feel like that's when things are different.
So I guess it also depends on the situation. Yeah. If your boo thing hurt your heart, then maybe it's best
you wouldn't want to see the face because it's a constant reminder. So that makes sense.
I also have some friends that go out of their way and just delete the Instagram app as a whole for a little bit, and so they,
then it's all gonna come rushing back to you once you get it back.
Unless
what?
The analytics change. Maybe because you haven't been on Instagram for so long. your favorite page is just different.
Wants to mess with you,
maybe it wants to mess with you, and honestly, that's probably the truth.
It just throws the person you last contacted. It's gonna throw it as the first picture on your feed.
Like bam, here it is. Boom. Remember this guy?
Welcome back. Are you
look
guys
at his new
together?
Girlfriend?
Boom, happy traveling together.
Yeah, I mean whatever. To each their own.
Yeah,
but that is a good tip for those that can't do that.
It is cutting all the communication. Next one is travel. Travel.
Oh, that is my favorite one.
But you gotta have friends to do that, because you go on this trip by yourself, you're going to be lonely as hell, and you're be calling the person back. I want you back.
You think so?
You
wouldn't go on a trip alone?
No, I would never travel by myself. First, because I'm a pussy. But
what does that mean? You're scared?
I'm just scared. I don't even like to stay in a hotel room by myself. I feel like someone's gonna get in there and kidnap me in the middle of the night.
Do you ever go to the movies or to dinner by yourself?
Nothing. No. I don't like to do things by myself.
You always like having someone there.
Always.
Even if it's a friend, or it doesn't necessarily have to be in a
exactly. It doesn't have to be a romantic way, but I always like to have someone with me.
What was your last trip?
My last trip. That's a good question. I think it was a cruise we went on.
That was 5 years ago? No, I'm just kidding. That was a few months ago, but it feels like 5 years ago.
It does feel so long ago, but no, that was our last trip.
That was a good one, because it was such a big group of us.
Yeah.
And I feel like all of us were on different pages as far as life after graduation and our big girl jobs, big boy jobs, and just we hadn't seen each other in so long, so it was a nice big reunion.
Getting
and
everybody together.
We got to do it in the Bahamas, so it was nice.
Exactly.
That side is when you come back home to the reality of it is
yeah, it's gonna all
happens?
Hit you at once. That's true.
Like a slap across the face.
Next one says time and upgrading. Okay, I see the time aspect of it all, because time does heal.
Yeah.
Given it time, but upgrading. It really depends, because what if it was already the person that you thought
the man
was
of
the
your
max?
dream.
Yeah. How do you go from there? So that's a tricky one.
Listen, we live in a city full of options.
Yeah.
So you just have to keep looking.
Yeah, until you find the one.
For me, every time I get out of a relationship, mentally I know I have to upgrade. Not necessarily physically speaking, but I want someone that is better to me than the last relationship. I learned from those red flags. You learn as you. Why are you looking at me like that?
No, I have a little question, but kind of lost my train of thought there.
It's like a hill with batches.
Yeah. So you mentioned not upgrading necessarily due to their looks, but what if it's, let's say, career-wise, right? The guy, maybe your ex, let's say, put an ex in the picture, right? He was ugly, but he had a good career. Okay.
Then I'm in love with his career, not him.
No, but you were still, physically, you still liked him. Even though he wasn't good-looking, you still liked him. Mm-hmm. But then comes around someone else, shitty job, but good-looking. Do you think that's an upgrade?
For me, it's never been about the looks ever. Okay. Obviously, it's a really nice plus to be with a good-looking guy, but it's more so about their personality and the way they carry themselves and how they socialize with other people. I think it's really important for me to be with someone that, is good at speaking, not shy, wanting to be adventurous, to try out new things. I think for me, that's an upgrade. Someone that just wants to explore more and be more open-minded. Whereas, in previous relationships, I have dated guys who are a little closed-minded and kind of boring in a way. They like doing the same thing over and over again, which is fine. We're getting older. We want to, have a routine. We start working full-time jobs and we have bills to pay. But I also want to make sure that the person I'm dating is going out of their way to make sure we have a good time together. Yeah,
but would you consider that upgrading?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think it's upgrading.
It's just like a personality
upgrade. It's providing me with more life experiences and memories.
Okay, I get
Whereas,
that.
Previous ones maybe weren't too...
Yeah, weren't all there.
Fun.
Yeah, okay, I get that.
How about you? Would you consider looks as an upgrade? Clearly, yes. Clearly, yes. Sorry, I'm arching my back.
I don't know, man. That's a tough one.
Why? Why do you think that's a tough one?
Because looks is not everything, too. Personality is a big part of it. but also it's like I feel like career is a part of it too. You have,
definitely at this point in life, for sure.
Everything has to be kind of like in the same level. It's hard to like go for someone a little bit like under you in any aspect. Like it's just hard.
And how do you go about, you know, we talked a few episodes ago about how you like dated this guy who was, or maybe it wasn't in our podcast, it was in the coffee breakup podcast.
Which one? Remind me.
This guy that you dated, that you went on like one date.
Okay, but so I didn't date. It was
a one date, but you were texting him. You were texting him for a while. And obviously he was hot and all of this. But
it was for 3 days.
It was for 3 days. Never mind. My question doesn't count. My question was going was, if you're dating someone that's, you know, very physically attractive, but you realize after a few months or a few weeks that, you know, they're not really who you thought they were, personality-wise, they're boring, or they have nothing going towards, like, their life. How do you go about from detaching yourself from that attraction physically and being strong enough to say, hey, sorry, like, you're not it for me?
It took me, like, a day for everything to just click. Actually, I'm gonna be honest, it took me, like, a week for everything to click. So I can detach. I'm like, this is a shitty person. Like, yeah, he was hot, but this is a shitty person.
So you don't allow yourself to get to that level of obsession with the person?
Yeah, no. I try to catch myself quick.
You're a strong
I feel like when I was younger, I would be fooled by the looks. But, like, the older I get, I see everything else.
And you're just not willing to put up with it.
Yeah, hell no. Yeah. And
okay, hit me with the next question. Yeah. I'm over this one.
Let's go. This was a deep one. All right. Top lies men and women say.
Oh, this one is good.
All right, this is a list. We got, I'm only talking to you, I promise.
Right. Me too.
Of course you are. You got a roster? What number am I in the roster? Like, that's all I want to know.
MySpace? Who are your top 5?
Who are your top 5? Like, tell me. Just like,
and we can edit that for you.
Yeah, just go on your phone and show, like, your favorites in the call. You know you can do that.
So if you... Really?
Yeah, I have my favorites, like, on the top.
Yeah. These iPhones, man.
I know, they keep getting better and better. Yeah.
Better and better. I think that as far as this question goes, it depends on you yourself and your trust level. Because if you're dating someone who's like really out there and has a lot of like friends that are girls or guys, you have to put yourself in a place of choosing whether it's right to trust them or not to trust them. Does that make sense?
It does.
And if they give you a reason to doubt them, then that's on you.
Yeah, that's the problem.
But you learn this as you go. As you get older, as men lie to you, as life lies to you.
Because maybe you are the only one they're talking to. But, like, how do you know?
How do you know?
How do you know?
But do you imagine living a life like that? Like, just not trusting who you're with?
No, it's impossible. That's not gonna work.
That's hard. Don't do that. If you feel... like, you can't trust the person you're with.
If you feel insecure in that relationship, move on.
Get a dog.
It's not going to get better. You're going to feel insecure in the relationship the whole time.
No, and it's only down from there. How are you going to move on ever from that?
Yeah, like, how are you going to sleep peacefully at night thinking you're
always... I also think that once a cheater, always a cheater.
Yeah.
As far as that, like, let's just get into that.
But I feel like there's probably rare cases that they find the one.
Well, the cases that I know of.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen it for, you know, you too in FIU. When we were in FIU, we were in Greek life. Everyone knows everything going on. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I've been in the situation. Not personally, but like friends.
Yeah, like you hear about it, and sometimes you even see it out and about, and you're just like, ooh, I mean, to each their own. But if I were to find out ever that I was cheated on, I don't think I'd ever trust that person again.
Yeah, it'll be hard. I think that's where you cross the line. Yeah,
that's one of those things that I can't move on. I can forgive you, but I won't forget it, and that's a problem.
We forgive, but we don't forget.
Yeah, and if you cannot forget something, my love, you are not gonna live a peaceful life. Ay, el pájaro. Ay. La cola del pájaro. La colita. There's like a bird right on top of Jen. Obviously, we're crowd surfing. No. I'm still thinking of Ultra. You know, that was my dream for the longest time, to be able to crowd surf, but I was too gordita and no one could carry me. So instead, we did it one year at Ultra with one of my brother's friends who was un palitroque. And like, we carried him up and we just like went.
How did he make it back to you guys?
He didn't. We saw him at like 8 p.m. and this was at 5:30. It was Steve Aoki's set, I remember. He got caked in the face.
That's
yeah, but he was un palitroque, super skinny.
That's what he made it for us. How in the back?
Yeah, he legit surfed. I was like, oh my god, crowd surfing is real. It's not just in movies.
That is crazy. All right, next one we got is it's not you, it's me.
It's always me.
It's always me. It's not you. I'm like, no, you're the problem too.
I'm never the problem. Go away.
If someone says that, you're part of the problem.
I think that's one of the biggest red flags. That phrase on its own.
It's not you, it's me. I'm like, why is it you though?
And what is it about me? Like, give me an explanation. If you're going to use that phrase, give the person you're saying that to an explanation and don't just confuse them.
Yeah. Because they try to say that so you can feel a little bit better.
It's just a very petty excuse.
It is a petty. And they do it so you don't feel bad.
But it's worse.
It's worse. It's
worse because
give us closure.
At this point, you know what that phrase means.
Yeah. Give us closure. Like, tell us what's wrong with us, and we can go on from there.
Don't just leave us wondering. Like, I don't want to spend the next 5 days wondering, like, what about me?
Exactly.
That's not fair.
It isn't. Next, they're just a friend. Are they really? Are they really just a friend? What do you?
Who said this? A girl or a guy?
Oh, it's a guy.
A guy. Ay, Dios mío. Next.
Yo, pobrecito. Pobrecita. Who's ever talking to this guy?
I think it goes back to the trust, because I think it is okay to have friends. Like, if you want to have girlfriends, go for it. If you want to have guy friends, go for it. There's a level of respect, obviously, to maintain, but
this is what I'm wondering. So a guy submitted this, right? So I'm wondering, did he say it like he's the one that has used it, like it's like they're just a friend, or he's had a girl use it and like told him they're just a friend? You get me?
I think we're gonna have to do some digging. Look at the guy's profile.
That's an interesting one, honestly. Okay, next we got, sorry, I've been super busy. Have you used that one?
Okay, that's controversial because
sometimes we are super busy.
Exactly.
Honestly. Like, I'm always super busy.
As you get older, you get busier. You know, like we talked about, you get jobs, you have bills to pay.
If you really like the person, you'll never too busy. You'll make time. You will text back. Doesn't matter what you're doing, you will text back.
This is very true, but I also think that the person saying that, like, oh, you're too busy, maybe if you have nothing else going on for you in life, maybe that's why.
Yeah. If not, you'll understand. They'll understand too. That could be.
You have to be understanding and willing to compromise. If not, it's always going to be an issue.
Yeah. But that's a good excuse. I mean, I've done it too. It's like, no, I can't this weekend. I'm super busy.
Yeah, I've done it too.
I haven't been doing shit, just staying at home, but I'll say that.
But it's an okay thing to do. Sometimes we're just not ready for it, and it's just the easiest thing to say.
That's true. So this next one, I love this, like, question or whatever, but for some reason, no one actually wrote on it. But I'm gonna ask.
I have a feeling I know what it is.
It says things he said before ghosting me.
Jen, no one answered.
No one answered, but like this is such a good one because we've all been ghosted.
Nothing has been said. You were ghosted.
But what was the last conversation, whether it was through text or in person? Like, what was the last thing said that then he ghosted you after? Like, how bad could it be? Like, what did you say? Because I bet these 100 and something people that saw this question, they've had to have been ghosted at least once in their life. Because people nowadays just ghost left and right. They rather do that than be straight up and like tell you. It's just easier. I personally freaking hate it. Even though the other person doesn't owe me anything. Yeah. But just still be the bigger person and just tell me. If you don't like me, tell me. But like don't leave me like wondering like why haven't you texted me in the last 3 days, you know?
I think that at least for me, the times that I've gotten ghosted, it's been by someone that I didn't even get to meet in person. So it doesn't really...
it doesn't really bother.
Hurt.
But how long were you texting for?
Like 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks.
That's a while to like make a connection.
This is a very controversial question because if the attraction just isn't there,
okay, yeah,
and the conversation isn't really there, and the person just stops responding.
Yeah, no, and let's say like you said 3 weeks or something, texting, like is that a pen pal? Like why
didn't we meet?
Exactly.
That's a good point.
Exactly. The last time that I was ghosted.
Tell me.
It was back to back, homie. The last time I got ghosted, the last thing that was said, it was nothing. It was just a conversation. I had a good night. I had a nice time. Had a good night. get home safe. That's it. And nothing else, right? So that's like the one of them. And then the other one was like, what was it? It was kind of the same thing. But one of them did apologize, like, after. It's like, oh, I got back with an ex, and like, I was like, all right, whatever. At least I got my closure. Yeah. Which I already had known.
Which took a while.
But like, I already had known because I had already seen like pictures like weeks after with another girl. So I was like, okay, I didn't know it was an ex. Whatever, I understand that. If there's an ex in the picture, like, obviously, why would you start something new when you have an ex? Depends how they ended. But if the ex is just easier for everyone, let's be real.
Yeah.
So that was that.
I also think it's better to be transparent with the person.
Yeah, so at least guys, like text me back, be like, hey, I got back with an ex. Like, tell me.
Please take notes.
Like,
please take notes. Saca el iPad, the notepad. If you don't want something with someone, just tell them straight up. It'll be greatly appreciated.
Yeah.
And
you're not going to get a bitching from us. Like, we don't care. Like, thank you.
It's just easier for us to move on when we know the truth. Instead of just being left there wondering did I say something? Did I look bad?
But at the same time, no one owes us anything.
No, this is true.
That's what it is. We want the closure, but they don't owe us anything.
This is very true.
Which is the reality of it. Like, yeah, it sucks, but they don't owe us anything.
I do believe that no one answered this for a reason, and it's because it's such a hard topic to talk about that not a lot of people talk about.
Yeah.
It just kind of happens, and you say, oh, I got ghosted, and that's it, you move on.
Yeah.
But it is important to talk about because I feel like a lot of people have a downfall after getting ghosted sometimes.
Yeah. If you're the type of person that takes there's something wrong with me.
If you're the type of person that takes things to the heart, you might take that action of being ghosted the wrong way.
Yeah, and it might want to like close you off from dating again.
Yeah,
like
because you think something is wrong with you. Or you're simply just scared of getting ghosted again.
Yeah, could be traumatizing experience.
Yeah. I've gotten ghosted sometimes, but it's usually like after 2 to 3 months, kind of like what you went through. The guy comes back and they're like, "Oh, hey, how have you been?" And I'm just like, "Well, no, how have you been?
Yeah,
what happened with you?
Yeah, what happened?
Did you forget to pay your phone bill?
Yeah,
or
did you lose your phone? Did you lose my number? Like, where?
Yeah. And
did you leave on a freaking study abroad? Like, what did you do?
I'm not gonna lie. Mm-hmm. It's a turnoff when you get ghosted by a guy and the guy comes back after.
Oh, 100%.
It's a turnoff. Just don't come back.
It is. Just don't come back.
We can be friends.
Yeah. But you know what? I'm a clown because sometimes I do accept them back.
You live and you learn.
You're right.
You live and you learn.
Like, welcome back. I've been waiting for you.
We've all been through it. It's part of life. It's part of dating. And we live in a city where it's a very common thing.
Yeah. It depends on
like we live in... I always say Idaho, so I'm not going to say Idaho this
Ohio?
time. But Ohio.
Or
actually,
Nebraska.
no. There's a lot of fuckboys in Ohio.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's like a preppy state.
Yeah.
Because I saw that documentary with Abercrombie, so now I think Abercrombie just started in Ohio.
It definitely looks like something that would start in Ohio.
Right.
Even though they don't have surfing there.
Exactly.
There's like no water.
That's so true, yeah. But it did start there. That's the funny thing about it. But they would do
really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, the CEO or something like would work there. Well, the old one because they rebranded.
Okay, well, enough about ghosting.
All right, next.
Let's not manifest that.
Yeah, let's not. Dating lessons I've learned.
Ooh.
Confessed it, baby, and they did. Men will say anything in order to get what they want. Stay safe, ladies.
Stay safe.
Stay safe. Men will say anything in order to get what they want. Yeah.
I agree with that.
I agree with that too.
And it's our responsibility to have enough chispa. For those of you that don't know what chispa is
sparks, but that it means a double.
I guess that intelligence.
Yeah.
To recognize whether you're being lied to or not.
Mm-hmm.
So, take notes of certain actions. Look out for those red flags. Obviously, enjoy your time with the person.
Yeah.
But always be very self-aware.
Yeah.
Don't
get bamboozled.
They
just want to get in your pants.
That's your favorite word.
It's my favorite word.
I love that word.
I was waiting to just sprinkle it on
for some weird
here.
reason, it reminds me of koalas.
Bamboozled. But bamboo. Yeah, the bamboo.
Or panda.
Is it?
Which one?
Okay, at first I thought you said panda, but I was like, wait, she said koala.
I'm not sure.
Bamboozle is a pandas.
They remind me of pandas.
Because of bamboo. The koalas.
Panda, bamboozled.
Next one we got, don't try to force a spark. If it ain't there, it ain't there. And I know we've been in positions where we want to force that spark. We want that spark to be there. Maybe he's good looking, good personality, good job, doesn't matter. We want the spark to be there. And yeah, I mean,
this is something I've always struggled with. I've always struggled with this, and not just in relationships, but in friendships too, in jobs. When you lose your motivation, your love for a certain action, but you keep trying to tell yourself, like, no, I love doing this. No, I love being friends with this person.
It's going to get better.
It's going to get better.
That relationship,
they're going to change.
that job,
life.
Yeah.
No. It doesn't, and life is too short, man. So the fact that you waste time just with this false illusion in your head of things are going to change, things are going to go back to how they were, in reality, no. I mean, they could, relationship-wise, it could. You can lose that spark and it comes back. It happens with marriages all the time.
But then
divorce also
again.
happens.
Yeah.
And it's for a reason. It's you lose that spark, and sometimes it's better not to try and, like,
light it up again.
And trust gets broken when certain situations happen. You know, you lose certain friendships. Coming back from something like that traumatized you, that hurt you, to a certain extent is hard.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just, I mean, if it's meant to be, whether in all aspects again, whether it's a job, whether it's a person, like, you're going to feel it right from the beginning. You wouldn't need to be sure in yourself it's going to get better, or keep trying to make it better. It's going to be better right off the bat.
Yeah, and it's just not good for your mental health. I've been in a position before, relationship-wise, where I stay with the person because I feel bad. I don't want to hurt them because I know they're super into it, but I'm already at a point where I'm not feeling it. And mentally speaking, it's draining. Yeah. You're not happy with yourself, and it's all an act. You're putting up an act for someone else. You have to be selfish, and you have to take care of yourself. It's better not to even try when the spark isn't there anymore.
Yeah, and sometimes, it takes a while to realize that.
It does take a while. It takes several heartbreaks.
You're like, maybe if we have more time together, we spend more time together, something will eventually give. Something will lit up, but...
it's hard.
If it's meant to be, it's meant to be right from the start.
I agree. Love at first sight?
If he wanted to, he would.
That's the
motto.
Ladies,
he would.
That's the motto.
And listen, I'm the first person to just not really, like, have that drilled in my head and be like, I don't care, I'm going to make him want to. But it's not really like that.
It's not.
If he wanted to take you out on that date, he would take you on a date. You wouldn't have to be busting missions.
Yeah, don't make excuses for his actions either.
Exactly.
If he's not trying, he's just not trying. Don't make this whole story up in your head of, like, he's too
I need to practice what I preach.
Me too. But you learn from your mistakes.
You learn. But sometimes you fall again and you relearn again.
Think about it, though. Put yourself 5 years back. Aren't you proud of how far you've come and the things you've learned?
Oh, 100%.
From all those heartbreaks?
There hasn't been that many heartbreaks. Probably one. There's been one. Like, one hard one. There haven't been really many
But you learned a lot from that one.
I have. But sometimes I find myself, like, falling back to the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, those heartbreaks are complicated because then you start comparing every relationship afterwards to it. Yeah. In the beginning, at least, when you're, like, trying to get over it. And that could be the crash of a relationship too. Comparing
you can compare
your current relationship to a previous one.
Or be like, how can I make it better this time around? Or you learn from it, But point is, if he wanted to...
He really would.
He would.
And same goes for girls.
Yeah.
I think a lot of guys... recently, I've been meeting a lot of new guy friends, and... maybe it's because they're into the wrong type of girl, because we do live in a city where it's not just the guys. There's a lot of Miami girls that have this.
It's becoming as hard as it is for a girl to find the guy than for the guy to find the girl. Like, it's becoming the same thing.
And this is coming from my heart, and I think you can agree. I think guys have to start being a little bit more selective with the girls they talk to. Because it's really annoying when I hear guys say, oh, no, all you girls are the same. And it's like, no, dude.
Yeah, you're just looking at the wrong place.
Exactly. And it's just as annoying when we tell a guy that. Like, a guy's always like, no, not all guys are the same. And it's like, okay, but maybe I've dated the same type of guy that has left me with this impression. And now I just have this nasty interpretation of what the Miami guy is like. When in reality the reality of it is that there's a lot of good guys, too.
Yeah, but where are they, though?
Home. Hiding.
Home? What?
Working. Traveling.
Traveling?
They're traveling.
they're...
I don't know, man. Look, I'm trying to be positive. I'm trying to be positive.
Like, they're banging around the world.
I'm trying to be positive. Go become, like... games.
I don't know where the hell they are.
Like, go become a pilot, a flight attendant, travel the world, meet new people.
Yeah, but it's not as easy.
It's just not easy.
It's not easy. And the older we get, the harder it is, which we talked about in our last episode. If you haven't watched it yet, the ones two before this one.
It doesn't get easier.
It doesn't.
It doesn't get easier. If you find a person you're truly in love with and you see potential with, keep them. And just try to make it work.
But they gotta make you really happy. Don't just stay with them because you...
I mean, happiness comes
scarcity mindset. Be like, there's nothing better out there.
There's no one here. I have to make sure I keep this person. No,
or I'm gonna be forever alone with 5 cats. No, it's not gonna be like that.
5 cats.
5 cats. Jesus. I'm allergic to cats, but I'll be surrounded by golden doodles. It's my dream.
I love that. Or koalas or pandas. And the bamboo.
Homegirl thinks koalas are pandas.
Whatever. They have a similar looking face.
No, they do not.
No? Oh my God.
One is big, fluffy, black and white, and the other one's like gray, and like all it does is sleep. I think you need to look up a picture.
I thought that was a sloth.
No, the koalas do look kind of like sloths, but they're cuter.
They are really cute.
Yeah, sloths have like a funny face. They're kind of scary. I've been in a cage with them, and like they're scary.
Wait, what? You've been in a cage with them? Why?
When I worked... Let me back it up. When I worked in Georgia, I used to do stories a lot with one of their like adventure park, which was like, you know, it has rides, whatever, but it's also kind of a zoo.
Oh.
Yeah, so then it was called, damn, my mind right now is Wild Adventures.
Oh.
So I would do stories there of like koalas, like for animals and stuff, whatever, and I would go inside the cage, and like most of the time they were kind of like sleeping, but they had like their big like little hook.
Oh no,
I was like,
that's not it for
hit me in the face with that.
That's just not it for me right there.
Yeah, they're kind of scary looking like up close. It's scary.
It's like have you seen a fly up close?
A little fly, like
una mosca, like bzz. Have you seen them up close? Or butterflies? No, that's a good one.
Butterflies are scary up close.
Oh, it's disgusting.
It's gross.
Scary. I don't like them. I cannot be near a butterfly.
Yeah. Not good.
Okay, next question.
All right, let's see what else we got. Honestly, I think we're done with our topics. I think that's it. Our last one was dating lessons I've learned. What is dating lesson that you personally learned? It's a good one, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've learned so many of them. I think a lot of my life experiences have come from the relationships that I've had. Mm-hmm. I don't have a lot of exes. I've only dated
and all of my exes,
I have like 15 exes.
I'm gonna pull up my roster.
No, I don't have a roster. I have like 4 exes, like serious relationships that have been longer than a year. I've learned some valuable things. I think the best thing I've learned is just self-respect and self-awareness. When you start dating someone, you become one. The person becomes your best friend. You kind of give up a little bit of yourself. They give up a little bit of yourself, and you mesh and become one. And it's really easy to lose yourself and try to, make that other person happy. They become a priority, and you lose touch with yourself. And I think that's where the self-awareness comes in. You have to always remember to put yourself first, too.
Yeah.
If you don't put yourself first, no one else can. If you don't love yourself, no one else can. I think that's the one thing I've learned from my relationships. And I think that's why my relationships kind of keep getting better as they go, because I'm more self-aware. Yeah. And obviously there's moments where I'm not as confident with myself. I'm a little bit insecure, but you have to be willing and able to like quickly pick yourself back up and just remember the bad bitch that you are and like what you deserve.
Amen.
How about you? Hit us with that.
I think it's definitely if he wanted to, he would.
If you wanted to.
And it's always just, like, having to drill that in my head, because sometimes I'm, like, I'm the one making the plans, you get me? Like, I'm the one, like, hey, let's go do this.
Do you think you're the one making the plans because you don't trust the person, or is it just because the guys that you've been with just don't make that effort?
I think it depends. I mean, sometimes they have made the effort. Other times, the one that I have wanted, really, really wanted, just for the fact. Yeah, which is the worst. Which is when my mom always says, like, find the guy that loves you more than you love them. Yeah. Because they're going to do more for you.
And
then eventually, obviously, you're going to love them too. But, like,
and then eventually you're going to love them too. That's great advice. Eventually, don't worry. Eventually, it'll come.
She's a savage.
Yeah, no, my mom has told me some pretty savage things too. Like, my mom says we can mold them.
Yeah, exactly.
You can mold them. And I'm like, okay. Like a candle.
But then they say you can't change a person, you can't change a man.
I don't get it. It's just
and
also
if you change
confusing.
them, imagine you change them, they become great, and then they leave you for someone else. Your camera died. So yeah, I think that's the one that I've learned, but like I keep having to remind myself, like I find myself going back to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's the most impactful one for me right now that I can think of.
It's only normal to have those feelings sometimes, and just having to like revisit that area that you need a little bit of growth in, and
a lot of growth in.
Self-awareness. It goes back to self-awareness. Yeah. It's always about self-awareness.
When I find myself finding that text like this, something delete. No, if you wanted to, you would.
You would.
And it's true. That's what it is.
Bueno.
All right. I think that's all for today, guys. I love that you guys participated in these questions, and you guys definitely gave us some confessions.
Yeah, my favorite one is the guy, though.
The guy.
They're just a friend. We're praying for you, buddy.
We're praying for you, man. All is well. All right.
They probably aren't just a friend.
Yeah, they're probably not. I mean, if he's telling us,
we're just gonna smile like they're ready.
It's good. All right, that's all what we got for first episode of the month of April. I hope to see you guys next week, like always.
Don't forget to subscribe, to like, to comment, share,
review. Find us on TikTok, on Instagram, Confess It Baby Podcast.
We'll see you next time. That's pretty much it.
Until next hump day, guys.
Keep it real.
Bye.